Oh, it hurt. I heard. That's Bruno's fault.
How is practice going?
Very well, very good. It's very well going. Like back to basics. A lot more competition against the defense, one-on-ones, 7-on-7s against the defense. So it's fun. It's fun to go back and like every period's competing. So it's pretty fun.
Almost like a fresh start after the season gets into kind
Yeah, it's almost like going back to camp practice or a spring ball type practice for these few days.
Now that you've had some time away, I mean, what have you been able to think about since your last start that maybe you see now that you didn't see before?
I mean, just, every game there's always corrections to watch. So I watched the Florida game a bunch. Obviously there's a few corrections, a few reads, but stuff to look forward to correcting in the Houston game.
As far as Houston's concerned, scheme-wise, talent-wise, how would you describe them? And are they kind of similar to someone you faced, or are they a little bit of a different animal?
Yeah, they are different. I was actually talking to Coach Sanders about this. They are a little different. They do a lot more different looks, especially on third downs that we're not accustomed to seeing. So I think we got to do a good job of recognizing.
For a quarterback, when you talk about getting back to the fundamentals and the basics, what does that mean for you?
Just I think being off, not throwing for a week with the receivers, and then we threw a little bit last week, but it's different when you go out there and the DBs are playing them and they're hearing pads full speed. I think getting that back, obviously I think that only took one day to get back, but I think that was the biggest thing.
Going back to the Florida game, what was the big thing that maybe you took away from the offense that you guys were able to accomplish that game?
I think there was a lot of mistakes from all 11 of us, but I think we made the plays in certain situations that we had to make, and that got us to win the game.
Jimbo said it, that as far as the offense's evolution, that was big to go on the road against that defense. You guys had struggled on the road.
Yeah,
what did that mean for you guys?
Yeah, we struggled on the road and to go in the swamp and move the ball successfully at times. In that atmosphere was big. I think it was a big step for us going forward.
Bobo was saying over here, like, how he's seen this team mature in the areas he's seen it mature. How have you seen this team mature since you broke camp to this point?
Oh, it's a big difference. I just think it's a maturity level, a leadership level from certain guys on this team, and just a lot more like effort and execution. I just think this team has grown so much from our first game till now, like going forward.
When you talk about the leadership, I mean, was it an adjustment for guys because it was trying to figure out, okay, who was going to replace the leaders from last year? Or
yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. You got guys like Jameis and Rashad in the locker room who everyone looked at, and it's not always that there's an established leadership core. Going into the next year, it's you gotta kind of see who really steps up, and I think it's pretty good now.
Did that make the season kind of fun in a different way than with the lower expectations and seeing kids, seeing some of the young guys grow, whereas the last 2 years it was just a bunch of veterans who just went out and won a bunch of games?
Yeah, it was. It's nice to see young guys do that. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think about how. Going forward, we got 11. On offense, we got 11 returning starters next year. So I think this game is big to go out and play like we're capable of playing. Really fix the missing pieces that we've missed throughout this year, and send it off on a great note going into next year.
You and Roberto came in together as he just got his All-American honor, and he's the first and only guy since Deion Sanders to be a 3-time first-team All-American. Is that just kind of a cool thing to see for a guy that you've known for a long time?
Yeah, it's awesome, coming in with Roberto, and I'm glad for him. I mean, he deserves it. He works his tail off day in and day out. He masters his craft, and he's a great person as well. So, very happy for him.
As far as going into Houston, I mean, I know every game it's kind of been like you get 3, 4, 5 day windows. Would you say you're almost a little bit more at ease, maybe more than you've been the whole year, because there actually is ample time, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to watch film and prepare for a team in a lot more than 4 or 5 days. It's big.
So let's take us inside your mind, because none of us have ever played FBS quarterback before. What does it do for you to give you double, maybe triple the time to kind of prepare for a team?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's a lot more cramming in the 4 days. Obviously you watch all their games and all the breakdowns of what they do on third down, third and long, third and short. But now it's nice to just be able to watch it all, and then go back and watch it again. It's just a lot more time understand it.
So like during, let's say, a regular week, instead of maybe getting a few hours to look at what they do on third down, now you can actually take a whole day or 2 days to look at that if you really want.
Oh, exactly. I'll schedule like after Monday practices, I'll watch like a few games to kind of get it in my mind, and then every day after practice, you watch more and more games and more situations, and towards the end of the week, you watch like all the third down blitzes, and it's nice to be able to already be done with that, and then go back and do it again next week, and then even our off week and Christmas, and then even bowl week. So it's gonna be pretty nice to know them inside and out.
During the 2 weeks off, do you have time to reflect or just look back on what a crazy year it's been for you?
I was talking to my dad the other day about that. It was pretty crazy, but obviously I think everything was for the better.
What have you learned about yourself through this entire process this year?
I just think, sticking with it, keeping my head down, working hard, I think was probably the biggest thing that I'm happy that I did.
How many tries did it take you to get the ball over the stadium?
That was my first try. I only did it because there was someone on this team who told me it was physically impossible to do because it was like straight up, but I just had to prove them wrong. So.
Had you ever done it before?
No, I didn't. No, I was walking off the field. I was done throwing. I was in my cleats. I was heading to the locker room. So.
Were you worried like what would happen if it got on camera and it hit the side of the stadium and it fell down? Or?
I don't know. I don't think Bruno would have posted it on Twitter if I didn't. Tyler Bruno, our equipment manager.
I'll take it.
Who told you couldn't do it?
I don't know. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Dalvin said he was there, but
Yeah, they were there. Alvin, Rick Leonard, a couple people were there.
So those sorts of like trick throws. I mean, did you grow up doing that stuff, or was it just hey, you walked out, someone said throw, and you just?
Yeah, I just walked out. And I just threw it once. I just wanted to prove someone wrong.
What's the farthest you've ever measured yourself throwing a football?
I don't know if I ever have. I long toss all the time and just try to build arm strength, but I don't know if I've ever just
So
go
what do you
up and
think
chuck
it's
it.
about? How far do you think you're throwing? Just
Honestly, I don't know.
just heaving.
If I just heat it, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Did you see
Probably.
Aaron Rodgers come there?
Yeah, yes, sir.
How crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I thought it was crazy how close it was to hitting the top of the rafters. That's pretty crazy.
If you had to throw it higher, do you think you could clear anything higher?
I don't know how far, because I couldn't really tell. I was just happy it got over.
I think it was like one of the shortest walls in the stadium.
Actually, the one next to it was the shorter wall, and that was the original. The original bet was
So you
like you
went to
couldn't
one
even get
higher?
over the smaller one. I was like, oh, that smaller one's too easy. And then
So I think the one next to it has like the bleachers all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Probably different.
I don't know if anyone could do that.